Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, outsiders of all ages. Oh, yeah, there's a Cowboy Cup. Oh, yeah, we mean business.
Yeah.
It is the Outsiders, brought to you by Poncho Outdoors. When the weather gets cooler, don't forget the flannels. There are the top 5 fall flannels. Blue Goose is at number 1, and I think you recognize that guy at number 4, grilling in the Nighthawk. PonchoOutdoors.com/outsiders for $10 off your first order. I got a poncho going tonight. I think Jason Dick's got a poncho going tonight as well. Chance Mock is here. Bo Edge, the country gorilla, is here. And we're talking Texas. And Texas fans got to exhale this week. 55-0. Sammy Hagar, double nickel. They destroy Sam Houston State like they were supposed to. Chance, I'll start with you. Since you were half of a 55, you're the Mach 5. What'd you think?
I thought it was exactly what we needed to do in that game, right? It started with the things that I talked about on last week's show, right? The 5 things we needed to do to go out and look like a football team. And it didn't matter that it was Sam Houston State. This is a game called a get-right game, right? We start off early with Colin Simmons coming off the edge, right? And he finally get to see him have some action. Finally get to see Michael Taft around the football. Anthony Hill was around the football. Then you get Ryan Wingo. I mean, he started with that reverse, and you could see the burst of speed, like the explosiveness that Ryan Wingo had. You could see it on that reverse where he split 2 defenders, and he looked like a man. And then Arch Manning actually threw good balls. He started off with a couple of low balls, and I was like, oh, God, here we go again. And then he had that nice crossing route that he laid in between 3 defenders to Moore that was awesome. And then he had the big ball that – people forget. Well, they don't forget. I promise you don't forget. But last week, that same ball, he overthrew Livingstone by 6 yards. It was just I'm just throwing the ball up there. This was a ball that he stepped in and threw it like a quarterback. He looked like the Arch of old, which is all you wanted to see. And I could care less that it's Sam Houston State. Couldn't care less. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. This was a get-right game. It was a game that this team needed to see things happen well. Going into the bye week, that's something you can build off. Now you can go in and you got a good taste in your mouth. You have 2 good weeks of practice. We're going over to Gainesville. Florida's struggling. That's one you can go win and get your feet back on the ground. But it's going to be a battle, right? But you needed this game. Overall, disappointed again by the push of the front 3 in the middle. But DJ Campbell, you saw how athletic he is on that where he's chasing. He's escorting the runner down the sideline, and you see that big son of a bitch can run like that. Like, it was impressive. But as far as the push up the middle, that still left a lot to be desired. But as far as the overall performance, I think you saw some young guys step up and play really well. Jelani McDonald, again, has a 700-inch vertical and jumps up and grabs that ball, that interception. He just goes up and get it. So a lot of good things. I think the opponent's irrelevant because this team needed to have some success, and they needed to look like a good football team doing it, and they did. It's the double-edged sword, Chad. If you think about it, everybody kept saying, Arch sucked against a shitty team. And okay, well, the next thing you know, Arch does what he's supposed to do against a bad team. And everybody's like, but it was just a bad team. And it's like, you can't win. So don't even argue with idiots.
You can't win for trying. All right, we're going to finish off the opening comments with the president of the Arch Manning fan club. Let's go to Bo Edge. Bo, 55-0. Are you in the camp of, oh my God, that was fantastic? Or are you in the camp of, what the hell did I just learn?
You learned nothing. The positive, and Chance alluded to it, and he's spot on. This was a get right for Arch Manning. It was a get right for Colin Simmons, who got a couple of sacks. But that doesn't change what's happening the next few weeks of the season all the way through the end of the season. They have to beat real teams, not Sam Houston State. No offense to the Bearcats fans, but this was a training game. There's a reason it was a 38.5-point spread that got bet up beyond that, because even Vegas people were saying, yeah, that Texas should probably win by more than that, which they did, because Sam Houston's just a few years from being Division II. So yes. Within the last 20 years, Sam Houston was a Division II school.
One AA.
Not quite
Call it
Division
what you
II.
will.
Right. They were FCS.
This was good for some guys that needed confidence boosters to get them. Is there that amazing glean we can get that, they're back? No, they beat Sam Houston State. Now, if they go beat Florida and then beat Oklahoma, then we can start talking that way.
Okay. Jason, forget everything you just heard.
Mhm.
What'd you think of your boy?
Oh, it's pretty
Come
good.
on.
It's pretty good. I'll give him first of all, I'd like to point out that our man Bo Edge has apparently lost a few pounds and is ready for his close-up. You guys see what's going on over here? The guy's just moving the.
I was gonna say he's doing it to himself too.
Yeah.
Are you gonna put the camera inside of your head? What is about to happen?
Well, one computer was malfunctioning, so I was moving to another
Hey,
computer.
you
Okay,
guys have to
sorry.
understand, Bo, over the past couple months, has had several procedures where they did stick cameras down his throat.
Ah.
He was just reliving that
Oh.
whole.
He thinks
wants
that's
he wants
normal.
the
Good
super
call,
duper
champ.
close-up. Super
That's what it is.
duper close-up.
Bo thinks the day's not complete unless he has some weird technological device put in his throat. Okay, fair enough.
I suppose I choose to grade this game on a pass-fail scale, and I give them a pass. While I was not necessarily as the sky is falling as some Longhorn fans. I take basically nothing away from this game because you're kind of just playing against air. All right. If this game was a boxing match, it would not be allowed. Okay. No governing body would sanction this. They would not. They would say that someone is going to die. We can't do this.
Towels are being thrown everywhere.
To a lot of people, this game didn't exist because you had to find SECN plus to be able to watch it. And honestly, we're not worthy. We're not worthy of SECN plus. Okay. That game should have been on Tubi, called by Screech and AC Slater, Lisa Turtle on sidelines. Now I think
Don't
about
you
it.
disparage Lark Voorhees.
I think
Lisa Turtle would never get near that game.
I think I'd rather hear AC Slater on color than Chase Daniel. But no, look, obviously you did everything. You played a perfect game. You did every single thing that you're supposed to do against a lowly opponent like Sam Houston State. I don't love the look from my guy flexing over a dude who's, barely hanging on as a college football athlete. But it was pretty clear to me, and I don't know, I'm interested in y'all's opinion on this, that Arch was in a funk, and he just decided, I'm going to go out there and play like a crazy motherfucker, okay? And not just the flexing in the end zone, but, he's shoving Sark over. He's pushing the coaches. He's going nuts. I think he decided, I'm going to go out there and go nuts today. And if that's what he needed to get this thing, out of his system, good. Because, UTEP, you're kind of playing against air there too. And he went through an 0 for 10 stretch. So, the fact that he didn't have that and he seemed to be precise and on point, I love it. My Heisman bet is still alive, guys. Still alive.
Okay, so I want to ask your opinion because I've seen all this. What's different between flexing and celebrating and doing all the things that Arch and some of the other players did against Sam Houston State or when they're playing Oklahoma? Because I guarantee you, if Arch runs it in, when Arch runs it in against A&M last year and celebrates, everybody's celebrating with him. Guess what? Sam Houston State was the opponent on the field that night. They signed up to play football. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. You do what you do. Their players were talking noise too.
He didn't do it in the guy's face in College Station.
He didn't do it in the guy's.
Yes, he did.
Look,
he stepped right to him. What are you talking about? He stared right at him.
Yes, he did, but they were talking at each other. You don't think that guy said something at some point?
I think there might have been a little of that. I think the fact that he grabbed Arch's towel and where that towel was placed on his body might have had a little bit to do with it.
Maybe.
But I think it was pent up frustration. Have y'all ever been at the DMV and gone off on a total stranger and they have nothing to do with your rant? It's just the day has built up in your head and you had 500 things to. I think that's what happened with Archman. It all built up and he let it all out.
Did you see Rory McIlroy when he won the Masters?
Yeah.
Just screaming. That was where Arch was at. It wasn't directed at that individual, though. I guarantee you, if he actually had audio on that field, I guarantee his quote wasn't, "You play for Sam Houston and I play for Texas." No, It was about them competing on a field. And
it wasn't directed at him. It was directed in his direction.
He was the guy that was there.
About that?
He was
ready to be the one.
Roy didn't turn to Bryson and flex right on Bryson.
Well, guess what? This is all over the internet too, and I'm not trying to. You name a quarterback in college, they did it. Tim Tebow himself talked shit to a weaker opponent.
Because
they're playing football.
Sure.
Let's not forget this. In this world that we live in today, and I thought this was so funny, and I am a Johnny Manziel fan. I loved watching Johnny Manziel. But Johnny comes on and talks shit as if people don't have the internet at their fingertips. They're on the internet when they're watching you, Johnny. They can go pull up the clip where you ran over a Sam Houston State guy and got up and flexed on him in College Station.
And then shook your balls over his helmet.
Like,
you literally.
The internet lives forever, Johnny. Like, people were going to find that clip.
There was one of Tim Tebow doing something very similar, and we're not talking about playing Alabama. They were playing
It was Kentucky.
like Grambling State or something like
Yeah.
no.
I mean, this is, again, this to me, it almost goes back to like last week when some of the fans got a little freaked out about the booing conversation. This could be a crossroads moment of a badass football season. It was the moment he got to let it all out. He got to find, he got to take that boulder off of his shoulder and set it down. The players loved it. The coaches loved it. The fans loved it. Like, it all just started to go the positive direction after that. I mean, and the best part was the white hat actually allowed it to happen. Like, the white hat chilled out, almost like he knew what Arch had been going through. And it's like, let me give him a warning. Let me give him a warning here. And then we're going to move on.
There are homeless children in China that knew what Arch has been going through because everybody on the planet knew what the last 3 weeks. Look, and I think it was, and his comment afterwards was so great. He's like, yeah, my mom was kind of mad at me. Like that. Yeah. That makes him real, right?
Mama probably texted him that. Grandpa was not happy with that. And I bet you Uncle Eli and Uncle Peyton sent him laughing emojis.
Oh, yeah, they were mad about it. And I guarantee you, every Longhorn fan that I know would be fine if Arch Manning wanted to get a 15-yard penalty every freaking week for talking shit after running a guy over in the end zone, as long as Texas wins.
Yeah,
if
Texas
I wouldn't. Arch could get a penalty.
I don't think Arch wants to be that guy.
I wouldn't take it every week, Bo, but I'd have taken this one. If I'm a Texas fan, for that one moment, knowing what you're going to do to Sam Houston State, I'd have told the ref, you want to throw that flag? Throw that flag.
Yeah,
it's better. It's better for the team overall, because when he hit that sideline, man, that's all you needed to know. The smiles on the sideline, they had all been waiting for that. It was almost like, I can't have fun till Arch has fun. I can't be good till Arch is good. And then it happened like that. And it's like everybody got almost like it's like they got sent a letter. You are now allowed to play good football. And everything just woke up for everybody.
Let me give you a smaller example of this. So my son Cash gets hurt after the preseason game, his senior year in Little League football. And he's out for the first 5 weeks. And it's only a 10-week season. So, he's having to watch it. And there was a lot of pent-up frustration. There were some tears. I'm not going to say that there wasn't, because he was frustrated and wanted to be out there. And the first game back, he said, Dad, when I score my first touchdown, can I spike it and get the penalty? I said, yes, you can. And he scored his touchdown, and he went a little farther than I expected. He did a Gronk spike, followed by a teammate rolling the red carpet and him doing the Conor McGregor down the red carpet. So he got his 15-yard penalty. Yeah. But it was pent-up frustration. He just was like, finally, I'm back out here. And I think there's a lot to what you just said, Chad. I think there was a lot, and I don't want to go into things that were talked about with people behind the scenes about what was going on in the locker room, but I think there was a lot of people that were kind of waiting, like, we don't know what to do because Arch is struggling, and like, do we have fun when he's not having fun? Like, there was a lot that whole team was riding on in that moment.
Right. And there was also a little element that we saw in the game, I think, from the receivers that I liked, which was the receiver's message to Arch was clearly, hey, man, if you bounce 3 yards in front of me, can't help you. Chance, you've been through this, I'm sure. It's like, yo, Mach 5. If you bounce it 3 yards ahead of me, I can't do anything with that. You airmail it 3 yards over my head, I can't do anything with that. You give me a low pass where I got to go down, but you put it in the window. You put it in the lower part of the window. Oh, I'll go down and get you a football. And we saw that over and over early, which just helps to build that momentum and confidence. And, oh, by the way, guys, this just in. When the guys that are not well get well in football, it usually helps your team. DeAndre Moore playing for this football team changed everything about that offense, including the Arch thing. DeAndre Moore was important. We knew it, and you could see it when he played. It woke Wingo up. Once Arch got going, now you feel like the quarterback and 0 and 1 are ready to go to Gainesville.
And I will say, do you know who played really well that doesn't get a lot of talk? And I talked about him before the season. Is Trey Moore. Trey Moore played big. He had a really look. We're not not playing great competition, but sometimes you just need to feel it. You need to get out there and have success, and that's what turns the corner on things. Don't forget, it was a different moment, but what started the run for Florida was Tim Tebow. You'll never see a player work as hard as me. You'll never see a team work as hard as me. And that was a breaking moment for him. And he wasn't screaming in somebody's face, but when he came out and said that to the media, that was a raw emotion of you're never going to see it. And that changed. That whole team looked at that speech and went, all right, we got to lock in. And I think, I don't care that it's Sam Houston. I keep saying that, but it's true. I think that whole sideline, when Arch did that, went, all right, now we can go play ball. That doesn't mean that I think they're a better team than A&M right now, or that they're a better team than Oklahoma. I'm not saying that because I don't think they are. They got much to be proved before I could ever say that. But I thought it was a good moment.
Well, I'll dispute that premise, Chad. I do think they're a better football team than Oklahoma. I do think they're a better football team than A&M. And while they haven't proven it yet this year, let's be and this isn't me trying to rile up Chad or anything. A&M beat Notre Dame, which was a big win. Notre Dame got its first win this week. Okay. Notre Dame also lost to Miami. So two teams that are being propped up right now are the Miami Hurricanes, led by Carson Beck, who nobody in the universe thought was a guy that's going to be a Heisman candidate this year. And now he's at the top of the list. Maybe they have some more games to play. It's early in the season. Let's not get too over our skis. The other team was that we were talking about that. When I'm saying Oklahoma needed the refs' help to squeak out a win against Auburn, against the quarterback they told, you're not good enough to be on our roster in Jackson Arnold. They beat Michigan. Remember how Texas beat Michigan last year? And we were like, and everybody's like, oh, you won 34 to 30, or what was it, 31 to 13. You should have won by more. Michigan's not as good. They won by not even that much against Michigan. That isn't very good. Like, those teams, we'll see. Let the story play out. But Texas's biggest bugaboo is that they lost by 7 at Ohio State. Everything else was exhibition games that don't really count. Come the end of the season, come December, what happened in those 3 games matter nothing.
The interesting one to me to follow what you're saying, Bo, is to see where LSU goes. Because those 2 big wins that LSU has don't look so good right now. Like, the things that we thought were massive wins, like when they go in Clemson and win, I was like, oh my God. Like, LSU's got themselves a defense now. Nuss is going to be the first quarterback taken in the draft. Like, all right, and now we're looking at Clemson, and Clemson's not the team we thought they were.
It's a great weekend, too, if you're a Texas fan, to sit back and watch. I would argue there's 3 of them in my head right now, but LSU at Ole Miss is this week. You find out things there. That offense-defense matchup is great. Bama, obviously, going to Georgia is huge. And in the Big Ten, you got Penn State hosting Oregon.
The best team in football.
I have peeked in on Oregon. I'm trying not to buy too much of the hype. If they go to Happy Valley and beat that Penn State team in a whiteout night game, we all have to kind of pay attention. So
God, I hope they wear their all blacks. I hope they wear their all black duck uniforms.
Yeah, they looked incredible against Oregon State. That was
so good.
That was a breathtaking helmet they wore, and I don't always say that about them. They're not always perfect, but they're usually pretty damn good. That was unreal last week. All right, it is the Outsiders. Let's start thanking some of our great partners. We'll start with Covert Ford, and then we'll keep talking about football. Arch has inspired the Mach 5 Top 5. You'll find out how in a couple minutes.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Covert, and since 1909, the Covert family has been committed to Austin's community. For 116 years, we've grown with Texas, driving progress, building trust, and serving the Austin community. Whether it's the all-new 2025 F-150 or the versatile 2025 Ford Maverick, we're here to help you find the perfect fit, just like we've done for generations. At Covert Ford, it's more than cars. It's about family, service, and a legacy of trust. Visit covertford.com and become part of our story.
Yes, indeed. Outsiders brought to you by Poncho
Well,
Outdoors.
baby.
Look at that. There's your covert hat right there. Look at that.
Well,
Covert.
I did go I did go acquire a new vehicle from Covert last week, so they could.
You had to spend $50,000 to get a hat.
Yeah.
You go.
Buy a hat, get a free truck.
That
It's
is
a very expensive hat.
Hey,
very expensive hat.
for
Very
the rest of the
expensive.
audience in the Austin area, go see our boy outsider Chris Abbott. He took. I will say this from a personal level. Kenny Covert and Chris did a very tremendous job taking care of me in my situation. So thank you, Covert. And y'all should all go buy Covert vehicles tomorrow.
There you go. Shout out to
Not
Covert.
on
All
Wednesday.
right, Bo, as long as we're thanking.
Why are you going to waste time? You could die.
Before we get into Mach 5 Top 5, anything else on 55? Nothing that needs to be said? Everybody got their feelings out? Everybody processed?
I think it's good to have a bye week.
Yeah? Good time for getting people healthy?
It's a get healthy. Confidence is feeling good. Now you feel pretty good. You're going to Gainesville in 2 weeks. I like it.
One of those two running backs has got to be able to go in Gainesville.
Yeah.
One of those guys. I'm not saying both. One of the two. Feeling
Wisner
like
should be ready. I can't wait for CJ Baxter to come back and play 2 more quarters and then be hurt again. But I think Wisner will be ready for Florida. Look, man, not me.
I think the running backs that we have can handle the load if they're not. But I'm calling a shot right now. Texas OU in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
There will be a significant play made. If the injury report is accurate, there will be a significant play made in that game by Jonah Williams. Whether it's a kick return, whether it's on kick coverage, he's not going to play much on defense. He is a freakish athlete that when you see him with the ball in his hands, that's the game that something like Jonah Williams does come in with the dual kickoff returns and runs. Mark my words, if Jonah Williams is healthy, he will make an impact in the Texas OU game.
Double off the wall. I see it right now.
Damn right. Damn right. Double off the wall, piss the Sooners off.
From March or April or whenever the hell we beat the crap out of OU in baseball. No, I'm talking football.
Sounds like a good plan. All right, let's get into this here, have a little fun, and we'll get back to some Texas and SEC talk as well. But, Bo, let's tell them about Integro Construction Services and everything that they can do for them, and then we'll get to the Mach 5 Top 5.
It's pretty simple. You can either spend a boatload of money on a new roof, or you can reinvigorate the roof that you have. Insurance companies are clamping down on the fictitious hail claims. If you're trying to get insurance to pay for a roof at this point, you better have real damage. If not, it's going to cost you through the nose. This is a way to stop both ends. For less than the cost of your insurance deductible in most cases, Integro can spray the Go Nano technology on your roof and add 5, 10, even 15 years of life. It's wind resistant up to 150 miles an hour, sun resistant. It's just better. It makes your roof come alive. It's like a steroid shot in the gym for your roof. That's all you need. Integro, the only licensed dealer of the Go Nano technology, 987-1273, or scan a little QR code and tell them that the Outsiders sent you.
Yes, indeed. All right. That would mean that it is time for a little Mach 5. Top 5. They played quarterback in Texas. Now he's telling you about list Mach 5. Top 5. Brought to you by Integro Construction Services. Chance Mock, Texas
That's
legend.
my Fraggle Rock. In case y'all don't know, when I hear his voice, I think it's a Fraggle Rock. So I'm just doing my little.
Great show. That was a great show. First HBO show I got addicted to was Fraggle Rock.
Oh, mine was Real Sex.
I was a little young for that, Jason.
Go with Jason.
I was stuck with those wiggly lines.
Good grief. They didn't let me stay up that late.
I was raised by TV.
Did your mom let you watch it, or did you maneuver the rabbit ears with tinfoil?
My parents' entire strategy on raising kids was plant them in front of the TV and leave them alone. And so, I was in charge of the remote from an early age. All right.
That show scared the shit out of me. Like you wanted to tune in and see a boob, and then it was like 3 stories about weird shit, and you're like,
not every segment was great. Okay, not everyone was.
Take me back to Cinemax. Over there.
chance to attempt to steer back to the Mach 5 top 5. The Mach 5 top 5 is not your 5 favorite moments from real sex. In honor of Arch
Green slime at the Black Oyster would be my
and
favorite.
love, stop. I don't know what you're talking about. Just don't even continue that sentence.
Police Academy reference dropped in there.
In honor of Arch Manning and his bow up, it is your 5 favorite end zone celebrations in football. What do you have for us tonight?
So number 5 goes back quite a ways, and I'm sure some of y'all, and I did struggle with this list because I did want end zone celebrations, but then at the same time it made me, y'all may want to expand it from end zone celebrations because Ray Lewis, when he comes out of the tunnel, is one of the best dances ever.
I think we can expand, Chance, because what about, if you wanted to go like a sack dance? If you want to go with a sack celebration, that doesn't happen in the end zone normally. I'll let you do it.
I mean, Mark Gastineau having a seizure on the field. I mean, that's basically what he looked like,
His was awesome
that year.
Who was the Packer back in the day that did the gravedigger with the shovel? That was pretty good. That was a good one.
I'll think about that. I'll get it. But anyway, so number 5 goes back a little bit, but it was the Funky Chicken by Billy White Shoes Johnson. Y'all remember the Funky Chicken?
Heck yeah, good call.
That was a good one.
Yep.
Number 4. This one was tough for me, but I always loved it because it always made me laugh. It was the river dance that Chad Ochocinco used to do. When he would do the river dance, I thought that was freaking great because it was so random, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Number 3, can't get away from it. It made its way into an MC Hammer song, and that is the man Deion Sanders, who now does not have enough toes to do the dance, but the primetime shuffle was special. When he would return a punt for a touchdown and do his little shuffle, that was nice.
That is nice.
Number 2, because it might be the most famous end zone dance of all time, and it was great, the Icky Shuffle with Mr. Icky Woods.
Like it. And good to be technical there, Chance, because eventually that celebration moved to the sidelines because they were they flagged it for a little bit. So he moved it to the sideline, and so he would do it behind the players and stuff. Good call.
And we could all do it.
And he would do the little bop, bop, bop before the spike. All right, so your number 1, it's a good list so far. Number 1 celebration for you is what?
I think it is hands down the number 1 celebration because it got a fine, it got flags, it got an entire fan base pissed off, and that was none other than the Randy Moss mooning the crowd.
The Moss mooning goes to number 1. I love it because now you've really challenged our first line of judging, Jason Dick, because that Randy Moss mooning moment feels like something Jason Dick would endorse. Jason Dick, what do you do with this list? The Moss mooning, the Icky Shuffle, Deion, the River Dance, and the Funky Chicken.
First of all, I was just about to say, Chance, that this list is a goddamn abomination. But I'm very pleased that you got Randy Moss at number 1 because I was like, I don't want to have to waste my pick putting Randy Moss in because that's awesome. If for no other reason, it just exposed what a square Joe Buck is. All right. Because what did he say? He's like, oh, it is just unfortunate that happened live on our air. I was like, he pantomimed pulling his pants down, Joe. All right.
By the way, Jason, you know how to know you're absolutely right about Joe Buck being a square. Joe Buck did that, and Tony Dungy was okay with it. That tells you everything you
man was okay with it, and Joe Buck was not.
Joe Buck was
excellent number 1. It brought the phrase "straight cash homie" into the lexicon. I love that. I guess if I'm going to cut something, I gotta be honest. I don't totally remember the Funky Chicken. Wouldn't the Dirty Bird be better in that spot? But I'm not gonna mess with that.
Billy White Shoes is a god to some
of
these old people.
You can't go first.
The Dirty Bird was kind of it was just an expanded version,
right? A yes and to the Funky Chicken.
Billy White Shoes didn't be the first.
I loved the Deion end zone dance. Obviously, Cowboys gonna kick the Bears' ass tonight, guys. I tell you what. Oh wait, what? What's that? No, okay. Look,
recording? What?
I'm gonna cut Ocho Cinco because Ocho Cinco is just a knockoff of T.O. who had some of the best end zone dances ever. All right. He's got a goddamn Sharpie in his sock that he pulls out, signs the ball, grabs the cheerleader thing. I'm going to cut that. Honorable mention.
What about putting the ball in the middle of the star?
You know what? We made our peace with that. Okay.
Wow. We made our peace. Oh, wait. So you're inserting T.O. or not?
No, I'm not inserting T.O. I'm also not inserting Zeke jumping into the Salvation Army kettle thing, which I also think is a good one. But I have to go with this one, guys. And I bet you guys might not even necessarily remember. Doug Baldwin. When I say Doug Baldwin super end zone dance.
1987.
Doug Baldwin acted as if he was pooping a football. Okay. He scored a touchdown. Actually, according to the Google AI overview, he mimicked defecating a football after scoring. Now, it was pretty funny and penalized. But here's the thing. He did it in the Super Bowl. Okay. He pooped a football in the Super Bowl. So I am taking out Ocho Cinco and I'm putting in Doug Baldwin in Super Bowl, whatever XLIX is. He scored a touchdown and mimicked defecating.
Oh, that is bold. Bo Edge, what do you do with the list now?
Okay. One, the reason Ocho Cinco got out for the river dance is because that wasn't Ocho Cinco's best one. When he pulled the Hall of Fame jacking out of the crowd, that was Ocho Cinco's best one.
That was good. Dude, if we could have just had T.O. and Ocho Cinco get unlimited, it would have been so good. Though each of them had about 8 great ones.
They were creative and funny.
Oh.
But okay, so Jason took it out. So I'm taking out the pooper. That's gone.
Okay.
And my honorable mention, and it's just me, but it's my thing. Jalen Waddle doing the penguin waddle when he scores a touchdown is just funny. Like, that is just using your resources. But the one I like the best, it's actually, I think the movie is The Replacements, when the character pretends that it's a grenade, pulls the pin, and throws it in the air, and all the guys go. I love that when teams do that. I don't know where it originated. I love that end zone dance when the linemen and everybody's in it together, and it's a theme.
Okay, so you're putting that in at number 4, then the grenade celebration.
Yes,
out of a movie.
Out of a movie?
Yeah, I didn't know fictional dances counted. I want Peter Griffin from Family Guy, the Shaboopy dance. All right.
What is next? Like,
you don't want the bird because the bird is the word.
We'll just hear whiteboarding ideas for the arbiter of truth to make our list. We have no control. It's his Mach 5 top 5. But not really, because it's Chad's Mach 5 top 5.
Oh my God, that is fantastic. Yeah, I mean, the fact that we've actually seen players do the grenade, now we have to judge.
But teams have done the grenade, and I think it's hilarious.
Teams have done the grenade. I like the grenade. I do like the ball as a grenade, and I know. Yeah, okay. So I'll allow the grenade. I will allow the grenade. I just gotta. I'm.
Then you check it out.
I'm a bit torn here for a couple things. I never even thought of the Moss thing. I certainly didn't think it should be number 1, but 2 of you have very strong feelings, and I try to respond to strong feelings. So because there are strong feelings, I will leave that in.
You can move it. You can leave it in, but move it.
I might do that. Here's what we're gonna do. Thank you, Chance. Here's what we're going to do. The Icky Shuffle is going to have to go. Icky, I love you. But while it was iconic, but fairly basic. And it's not like, I don't consider that. That's not Billy White Shoes to me, that level. It's not quite that. So we're going to take Icky out. We're moving Moss Mooning down to number 2. We'll leave Dion. I'll allow the grenade. We will leave the Funky Chicken because I do think Billy White Shoes is one of the greatest of all time. And how dare all of you for not putting number 1 what should be number 1? Hand the ball to the official. Number 1. Hand the ball to the official and what? Act like
you've been there.
Been there before. That's number 1. Arbiter of truth, kids.
Gentlemen.
And by the way, the arbiter of truth believes in any and all celebrations. All of it should be allowed. Chad Ochocinco using the pylon as a golf club. brilliant. A running back just handing the ball to the official, equally as brilliant. Everyone should be allowed to do whatever they want to do. But kids, if we're going to teach you from the beginning, let's go ahead and hand the ball to the official a couple times. Just saying, just try it out. Just try.
If there was a beginner's guide to the outsiders, that just showcased it all right there. Ladies and gentlemen, not familiar with the ensemble cast, Chance with a very well thought out, serious, real football list. Jason comes in and talks about dudes defecating.
Everybody poops, Bo. Everybody poops.
Yeah, everybody does. That book still sits in my bathroom. So, yes, I know everyone poops. But serious football guy, defecator. And Mr. I wanted to go back to 1937 College Station days. Yeah. You just literally encompassed it all in one.
That was it. I like that you consider the Randy Moss mooning somehow a serious football conversation. That was fantastic.
Hey, you know what was great? It couldn't make the list because they didn't do it. It wasn't necessarily on the field, but it was the corniest thing ever and so great was the Super Bowl shuffle that the Bears did in '85.
That's pretty nice. Do
you remember the whole team? And it had a song with it?
Do your own music video? You realize how much smack you have to have? You realize how much moxie you have to have? They did that during the season. It's not like that debuted at the Super Bowl.
No.
They did it during the season. Everyone would have made fun of them if they don't end up there. But no, they went and they destroyed the Super Bowl. So, yeah. One of the most perfect.
I just want to make clear if this nickname, the Defecator, sticks, I'm going to take another month off.
Oh, my God. Shout out to Integro Construction Services for sponsoring.
That's like Cal Raleigh.
Top 5. 987-1273. Ask about that Go Nano roof technology. That is not a great nickname, I would say. You don't
Big
want
Dumper.
I will never play that again. Cal Raleigh should always be called the Big Dumper. That is an exceptional nickname. For a guy that's going to win the MVP, the Big Dumper.
The Big Dumper is pretty good. All right. So, gentlemen, real quick, before we thank another one of our great partners around here, we're going to take a peek at what they think the SEC is going to look like tomorrow night. So, it's tonight. We debut, of course, Tuesdays at 10 a.m. So, tonight, if you're watching us on a Tuesday, 6 o'clock Central, they're going to reveal 2 key things. One is going to be boring for you Texas fans. It's your 3 rivals. I think we all know where that's headed. And then they're going to also tell you 26 through 29, 4 seasons of football where you're going to be able to play everybody everywhere. What's it going to look like? And, how's it going to lay out? So a report came out early this week of what someone believes it's going to be in terms of the rivals. So we'll flip this up here for you. We'll see if the guys have any reaction. For Texas, you're looking alphabetically in that second column, third from the end. Big surprise. It's OU, it's Arkansas, and it is Texas A&M. Fellas, to me, there is one shocker that is in here. The fact that Alabama and LSU may not be playing. That's the story for me. It is because it's become such a new rivalry, but it's really good. But I got to tell you, I'd be thrilled if I'm either fan base because Alabama gets Mississippi State instead. And then to protect LSU, they go ahead and make sure they play Arkansas for that boot. And that gives them a little bit of protection along with Ole Miss and A&M. Anybody got thoughts on this?
I do. There's one that I think that should be there, and it is not. And that is Tennessee and Florida. Tennessee and Florida is a great rivalry. They don't like each other. For whatever reason, it's a streaky type game where you'll have one team win 5 or 6 in a row and then another team win 5. Like that one, it shouldn't be there. Number 2, I don't like A&M Mizzou. I just don't. I'm not going to buy into that. It doesn't feel like a rivalry. It doesn't look like a rivalry. There's nothing about it that says rivalry to me.
So, Chance, you've mentioned that before, and I'll go back to it here in a second. You've mentioned it before. You do like A&M LSU, though, right?
I like that game for the Aggies more than LSU, obviously.
Okay, so if you were gonna leave it at Texas LSU blank, who do you fill the blank with for the Aggies? Who's the other one?
Arkansas.
You'd leave Arkansas. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And I can see. I mean, that's got history, man. That one would make sense if they wanted to do it.
I think I would have made a swap because I feel like there's a weird, I don't know how to put it politely, so I'm just going to say I think it's weird, but there is a rivalry between A&M South Carolina that's developed over the last couple of years that I think would have been interesting and would have freed LSU up to have that game with Alabama or LSU Florida. I mean, both of those are two big games that are missing from this list, but
I like that. Now, I'll admit, as an Aggie, I like the South Carolina game because the Aggies won way over most of them. But it's also kind of two cool atmospheres to put together. It's not like the tip top in terms of, history and atmosphere and stuff, but they both can get really into it when they're good. They both swing the towels. They're both towel people. They both love to do the towel thing.
Nobody wants the bell people.
They're rivals for being elitist and think they're, they're both in that same scenario. Like South Carolina feels about Clemson the same way Aggies feel about the Longhorns.
Yeah, right. That was in a rivalry with a state school.
The Aggies say the Longhorns are a wine and cheese crowd, and the Longhorns say the Aggies are uneducated hillbillies. And the same conversation happens in South Carolina.
Yeah, I think that's fair. The Carolina fans I've talked to kind of dug that rivalry. So I could have dealt with that one, Chance, but A&M entered with Missouri, and I think that's probably a reason maybe where they figure, hey, let's have those two get together.
Is it just me, or does anybody else find it weird that the Florida-Tennessee, which is that's a long-standing game that they've done for a while, that one didn't make the cut?
Yeah. Florida, that is definitely one, yeah.
It's
one of them.
It's really difficult because, you got to put this puzzle together, and Kentucky doesn't have any football rivals in the SEC. All right. Vanderbilt.
Kentucky gets again from Kentucky. It's Florida, Tennessee, South Carolina. Okay.
Yeah. Vanderbilt. I mean, it makes sense for them to play Tennessee, but they don't really, they don't have football rivals around here. Obviously they nailed it with Texas. If they did anything other than A&M, OU, Arkansas, that would have been silly. So that was they were right on there. I don't know if necessarily if they nailed any of the other ones. Chad, you used the key word here, which was protection, because like the fact that Alabama is not playing LSU, the fact that LSU is not playing Florida, the fact that Georgia, is Georgia Auburn? That's a rivalry. Auburn's a rivalry, but Georgia Alabama is not.
100%.
Jason, let me tell you one thing: you were never going to see Georgia Bama be an every year. Never.
Well, right. That's what, because they're like, we don't want to just, drive our best teams into the ground. But you are playing, Texas is playing OU and A&M every year, which I would imagine
kind of alluded to it, Jason. There's teams that they had nothing. That if everybody had their pick, nobody's picking Kentucky, nobody's picking Vanderbilt except for maybe Tennessee. Let's be real. Nobody's picking Missouri except for Arkansas. Arkansas, Missouri is a real rivalry that predates conferences and everything else. These things change in 4 years. Now, I don't think Texas's will change because that's how, unless I'm mistaken, and Chad, you are the arbiter of truth and knowledge, these are revolving for year. That's why they're not calling, their actual name isn't the rivalries. These are your preferred games for 4 years.
Permanent.
And I think they'll switch some of those around. I think you'll then see in the next iteration Florida and Tennessee come in, but they had to try to balance Kentucky, Mississippi State, and Vanderbilt and Missouri. Those four teams have nobody wanting to play them.
Yeah,
and Mississippi and Alabama.
Again, the key thing you got to do, and back to Jason's word, protection. I think there's certain teams they wanted to protect. It's pretty obvious. They wanted to make sure that Texas, Georgia, Bama, and I'll even throw in LSU were protected to a degree. That's why you separate Bama and LSU. Plus, they also know they're forcing themselves to play a better schedule moving forward. And if Chance loves Tennessee, Florida, which I totally agree with, I love Tennessee, Florida, that is going to happen once every other year, right? They're going to play in that 4-year span. It's not like they're never going to play each other. For me, who loves LSU and Auburn, that game's still going to happen. It's just not going to happen every single year. A&M and Arkansas, not every single year, but and what we got to find out in this release, the nerds like me, I not only want to know the rivals, I want to know how you're going to lay the schedule out. And then are you going to let's take Texas and Ole Miss, just as an example. Are you going to do Oxford in 26, Austin in 27, or are you going to stagger it where Oxford's 26 and Austin is 28? Those kind of questions are what I want to get answered. You're going to do a quick home and home, or are you going to split your home and home? Because the SEC is legendary for splitting their home and homes. A&M comes into the conference, hosts Florida, then goes to the swamp 7 years later. Like, that's what they used to do. It's weird. So how are they going to do that, Jason? That's what I want to see.
At least according, there's 14 teams, right? I should know this. I already
16.
There's 16 teams. Oh,
yes,
okay. Did they expand? Did the SEC expand?
Who did they
add? Oh, yes, Texas and Oklahoma.
Texas and Oklahoma.
Texas and Oklahoma. Oh, makes more sense. I guess if there's 16, you could stagger. I was going to say if there's 14, you can't do it. Like there's no formula to do it every other year or whatever. But Correct. If there's 16 teams, my stupid brain, if it works correctly, I think you could play 6 of the teams one year, play the other 6 the next year, and I would say you should do it every other year. Like play in Austin this year, play in Oxford in 2 years.
Okay, you'd spread that out, and we'll see what they do. Because here's what else you got to think about: if you're going to play A&M and Arkansas every year, this year you're playing them both at home. Are they going to continue that pattern? And are they both
road 2 and 1 way or the other?
Like, are they both road in 26? So if you do that, that means you only have 2 other road games to deal with. I'm telling you, this is my opinion. I'll be shocked. Like jaw drop, shocked as I've ever been if Texas doesn't go to Oxford in 2026. It is the easiest thing in the world to schedule. And if you really want to go, they could also go to Knoxville. But do you really want to make them do both of those things and College Station and Fayetteville? Is that what it's going to be for Texas in 26? Because then you have to come back around and say, okay, who do they host?
God, that'd be a great home schedule, though.
It would be right when you turn it around the next year. You'd host all 4 of those teams. So how are they going to stagger all that stuff out? That's what I want to know from this release coming up on Tuesday evening. So, but the all projections are Texas fans. You're going to get exactly what you want on that every year game. You're going to get the Hogs, you're getting the Aggies, and you're getting the Sooners.
Do you think, and this is always sort of a bubbling question, does this put in danger the neutral site Red River Shootout game? No chance.
No chance. I don't think they touch that
because it's too SEC.
I'm just Texas likes playing 8 home games.
But Jason, go ahead, Bo.
The same way some of the other mains like Florida, Georgia is still there. Alabama, Tennessee is still there. There are some of those rivalries that go back 100 years. And if you don't think that was some of the conversations when Texas and Oklahoma were negotiating their release from the Big 12 and movement in rooms that we don't get to be in, there were some handshake deals. Y'all can play every year there. Because if not, Jerry Jones would have bought that game 20 years ago. And he hates Texas, but he loves money. And that game prints freaking money.
He doesn't like winning, apparently.
Yeah, Jason, the 2 ingredients for me, the fact that they've kept building that stadium up and keeping it built up basically for that game tells me how dedicated they are to it. But also, to me, there's an SEC-ness to that state fair. Like South Carolina's got a state fair that they do every year, and it's not far from their stadium, and they kind of make it a part of things there. It just feels SEC to me, the corn dogs and the funnel cakes and all that. When you looked for ingredients of, well, why would Texas and Oklahoma fit into the SEC? You start going down the list of stuff, and there's chuck wagons, and there's giant drums, and there's a freaking awesome Longhorn, steer and all that stuff. But that state fair is a part of it for me too. Like you give me the Ferris wheel and the atmosphere and split those seats. And
don't forget Big Tex.
Big Tex is back, right?
Big Tex and there's a giant animatronic dude in giant jeans saying, welcome to the state fair. Like that's SEC, man.
Oh my God, they killed Big Tex. He's back for the next episode.
Hold on. Chance, you're slightly younger than Jason and me. When you graduated from Texas, did they still have the telephone enrollment exchange that you had to call to get? Like, I know y'all probably did as football players, but this is Tex, the telephone enrollment exchange for the University of Texas. And then there was a long pause at Austin because they obviously used it at all the other UTEP and UT, but it was like University of Texas, long pause, at Austin. And then when you got done, it was like, thank you for utilizing the telephone enrollment exchange. Goodbye and good luck. When you got none of the classes you wanted.
What is the telephone enrollment exchange?
Bo, Chance was a football player, okay? He didn't even go to his classes. Do you think he registered for them?
No.
They did all that for Chance. They set it all up for Chance. I don't think
Let
he
me
had to
tell
get
you
on the phone.
something. When I first got to the 40 acres, this guy named Ricky Williams told me how to do things. Apparently, they treat Heisman winners a lot different than freshmen. And so this is, I'll tell y'all a true story. This is probably going to get me in trouble, and that's okay. So I got a 0.75 my first semester at the University of Texas.
Whew.
The only D,
Not very good.
No, it's really bad. The only D with which I got was a math class. And the first day, I'm thinking they're just handing out syllabuses. So we went out the night before, and I'm in class like sleeping. The guy in the middle of class goes, Mr. Mock. I was like, oh, yes, sir. He goes, see me after class. So, all right. So I come up there. He goes, look, I don't want you sleeping in my class. And I know you don't want to be in my class. So I'll tell you what, come back on the day of the final. We'll figure this out. I was like, money. So I didn't go to class the entire time. I come back on the final. He hands me a test. And I'm like, what am I going to do with this? He goes, go do the best you can. I was like, I thought I'd really screwed up royally. So I'm sitting there and I've got no clue. Everybody around me turning in papers. I'm the last one. He goes, all right, bring it up. He goes, what do you think you deserve? I said, look, these people studied. They worked hard. I just want a D. D is for diploma. That's all I want. And he goes, are you sure? And I said, yeah, I don't think it would be fair for me to get a B with all these kids that worked hard. And so a D is fine for me. He goes, I'm asking you one more time. Are you sure? He says, I said, yeah, I'm good with a D. D is for diploma, baby. Let's go. 2 days later, I get a call from my academic counselor, and I will not say her name, but she did not sound very nice. She used a couple F-bombs and told me to get to her office immediately. I showed up, and she goes, what is this? And slams a piece of paper on it. It's got F, 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 D. And I said, it looks like I failed a lot of classes. And she goes, did you not go to any of them? And I said, well, I got the D. And she goes, you dumbass. That is a core class. It has to be a C or better for it to work towards your diploma. You got to take it again. And so the guy was telling me, like, he was sitting, he knew. He's like, are you sure you want a D? He asked me 3 times. And I was like, D for diploma. No, it's not. So to your point about me going to class, Jason, I had a special person that had to walk with me to every class. And so I went to all my classes.
Oh,
wow.
Okay.
But then I made the dean's list the next 3 years. I learned my lesson.
Wow.
Whew, now that's an outsider story right there. All right. Jason Dick also has a story for us.
I finished with
up.
a 3-point too.
Yeah, Jason Dick has a story for us about AP voters coming up. But before we get you that, Bo's going to tell you about battalion fire protection. Bo, what do they need to know?
They need to know that nobody checks fire extinguishers. Nobody checks sprinkler systems to make sure they work at your house, at your business. 755-6569. This is a veteran-owned Central Texas proud business that offers full-service fire protection. I promise you, it seems like something that you just think is a foregone conclusion that if your house or business caught on fire, that the fire department would be there magically in 3 minutes and everything would be fine. It's not. Even your stuff. Getting it wet and keeping it alive is a hell of a lot better than watching it burn into rubble. Full service fire protection, sprinklers, alarms, extinguishers, inspections, repairs, NFP and Texas license, no shortcuts, compliance, safety. They will protect businesses and homes from Waco to San Antonio to Austin to Georgetown. It's battalion fire protection where your life safety is their mission. Battalion fire protection, 755-6569.
All right. I believe, Mr. Jason Dick, you have a Dick move of the week for us. What's going on?
Well, the Associated Press Top 25 came out, I guess, when you're watching this yesterday. And I think I'm on the record saying that, September rankings are kind of silly. All right. I'm glad they have them because hot take jackasses like ourselves, we need something to volley about. But really, if you just started ranking the teams in October, that would probably make more sense. But the University of Texas, please tell me, guys, if I go too homer on this, all right? The University of Texas, after a 55-0, I'm going to say again, perfect game versus Sam Houston State. You could not do anything else in that game to make it more perfect. Fell 2 spots in the rankings, okay? They dropped from 8 to 10. Now, this is why I'm like, is this a troll job? Because the 2 teams that passed us were Oklahoma, who I believe had to cheat to beat Auburn, hideout wide receiver play. That's not allowed. Okay, you probably don't win that game. I think there was also a questionable fumble non-call early in the game. I don't know.
Early on. Holy moly, that's a close call.
I don't watch that garbage. But yeah, Oklahoma moved up 4 spots. And then Texas A&M, who, Chad, enlighten me. Did the Aggies have a big weekend?
A big weekend? Yes, because there's always big weekends at Northgate, but they didn't have a game.
They did not play. Texas A&M passed Texas on a week where they had a bye, and Texas won a game 55-0. Now, total objectivity, is Oklahoma better than Texas? Okay. The Texas A&M? Today, I would pick both of those teams versus the Longhorns as much as it would pain me to do so. But make it make sense, man. How can a team that does not play pass a team that won a game 55-0? If last week, if they wanted to put the Aggies ahead of the Longhorns last week, I'd have been like, yeah, fine. I dig. But how can they pass a team? How can they pass the Longhorns who won 55-0 when they did not play a game? So to the Associated Press voters, I've never really believed in any sort of anti-Texas media bias, but I'll say this, voters, dick move.
Yeah. Any comment, Bo or Chance?
I agree completely. I think last week was the time when they should have done it. I think last week we looked like dog mud against UTEP. The week after, we looked like dog mud against Utah State. A&M went on the road and won a big game at Notre Dame. Last week was the week to do the jump. I think this week, I think it's silly for it to happen this week. That's all.
So this is going to be one of those maybe rare moments where we're all in unison here. But I would split those 2 teams in terms of the thought process this week, because I agree with you guys about last week. But let's just say you get to this week. You had the Sooners and Aggies kind of lurking on the Longhorns, if you will. Texas was at 8, I think, and those were 10 and 11. The argument for OU passing Texas makes sense this week. Auburn was ranked. It was ugly. Like, it was an ugly game, but it was a ranked team. I could make that argument, but I totally agree with y'all. If the win was big enough in South Bend to take them from 16 to 10 or 11, okay, fine. But then, it's just a strange thing to watch. It's like, I get that when Texas gets up, 24-0 and 31-0, and you just check it off in your brain as an AP voter. I get that. And you go watch a game that matters more. But to punish Texas for that, I know it doesn't ultimately matter, and I'm not a big fan I'm with Jason, not a fan of the list during the year. Power polls do nothing for me. But if you're going to do it. You can't punish them for 55-0. You can jump them. They needed to leave Texas at 8. Even if you want to slide them down, slide Texas to 9, leave the Aggies at 10 or 11 if you really wanted to. But there's no way. Yeah, you can't have A&M jumping Texas. That doesn't make sense. I agree with you guys. It doesn't make sense.
Show me a team that doesn't play a Sam Houston State game. And let's be real.
Oh, they all do. Yeah.
There's only one reason Texas scheduled Sam Houston State. And it isn't like some of the other Division I teams that do this on the regular. Sorry, Texas.
It was a tax write-off.
No, it was a COVID fill-in. After the move to the SEC, Texas had to change they had more conference games in the Big 12 than when we moved to the SEC. And because of all the COVID rules and all these different things, they had to schedule on the fly. And the only team that they could go pay to fill the gap was Sam Houston State.
Bo, there's no need to make the excuses.
Yeah.
Last week, a media member asked Sark about the theory of scheduling an FCS, and he went through this big answer about scheduling an FCS. That's not what Sam Houston State is anymore. Y'all don't have to make an excuse for that. They're in Conference USA. They're a G5 team now. I don't care what they were when you scheduled them. They're a G5 team now. You knew you were going to whip them. I knew. Everybody should have known. It's like the AP voters are appalled that Texas did exactly what we thought they would do. We got teams winning with 63s and 70s and 73s, but Texas needs to get punished for winning 55-0. And Arch Manning had that awkward pass at the beginning that got hit up in the air. And for the rest of the game, he had 2 incompletions.
Don't forget, Chad. He only played 2 drives in the third quarter.
That too. He was out with 10.5 to go. I would have left it. I would have left him in to score 50, but Sark decided otherwise. All of that put together, and then somehow they slip. Jason, I'm with you. I'd use it as fuel if I'm Sark. If you just a little bit of an ingredient of pissing my guys off. I would say to them, guys, they think OU's better than y'all. They think the Aggies are better than y'all. We're about to prove them wrong, but I just want y'all to understand what they're saying, and they should point it out that way. Hey, A&M didn't even play this week. And we won 55-0, and we got demoted. I just want y'all to understand how they think of you right now. I would hammer my team with that.
I love it.
For Jason, who thinks that we would not beat Oklahoma or Texas A&M at the moment, mark my word. If you talk to somebody in Vegas and they had to put a line on a neutral site game between Texas and either one of those teams, Texas will be favored by at least 6 points, and against Oklahoma, probably more.
What?
6 is a lot, Bo. Texas is a lot.
Texas has been favored by 9.
Buy or sell, I'm selling the shit out of that.
Hadn't it been 8 or 9, Bo? Isn't the line sitting around 8 or 9 for the game in Dallas?
Yes.
It's been sitting right there, right? I'm going to keep reminding all parties involved, Texas fans. Look at me. Look at me. They all have to play your defense. All of them do. All of them.
The misdirect, and I'm not giving Sark credit for this one, but the misdirect is everybody's so enamored with what Arch isn't doing that they aren't talking about what the defense is doing.
Right. And to the point, and I thought Jeff Ketchum made a great point today on the 12 o'clock show. They just got to 2 straight semifinals with a really impressive defense and quarterback play that was at times. That was not elite every week. I just don't understand sometimes how fans don't lock into a defense that looks like this. Fellas, they are all over the place. I do not know yet if Texas can block well enough to roll through this SEC schedule, but I trust them to tackle well enough. I absolutely trust them to tackle well enough. That ball cat that's a running back for Florida, he better watch out. He's going to get tackled a lot all day and behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to be an ugly matchup for Florida. It's going to be an ugly matchup for Mississippi State, Kentucky. Like, they all have to play your defense, Texas fans. Just keep saying that to yourself. For all of you that flipped out last week and went with, we're going to lose 4 now, they might lose 5. They all have to play my God, A&M went to South Bend and scored 41. They have to play your defense. If Marcel Reed airmails the same balls that he airmailed in South Bend and they land in the hands of your defenders, do you think they're going to drop them? Because Notre Dame's guys dropped them. I don't think your guys will.
John Mateer is a Heisman favorite, or at least top 5 kind of guy, whose biggest bugaboo is he likes to turn the ball over, trying to do things he thinks he can do that he can't. Man. The Texas defense is the wrong thing for a guy that likes to throw 50-50 balls up for grabs. Like, that's secondary. This is what the secondary has gained over the last 3 weeks. They are becoming more opportunistic. Yeah. They feel like they're having to bail out the offense a little bit. They are making plays until they start making more plays, and it starts becoming a part of it, and it becomes addicting to the like they become more ball hawks. Like, it's only going to get better for the defense.
Yeah.
Like,
I tell you what, hey, our man Jason Dick's got to roll. Jason, before you roll, tell the people about Star Ranch.
Well, quickly, I hate to be that guy. Don't be that guy. Fact checker guy. I just looked it up. You can bet on Texas at Texas A&M in Austin, not a neutral site. It's 4.5. Texas by 4.5 right now. So
4.5. Okay.
6 points, Bo. Come on. Sorry. The golf club at Star Ranch, probably the only thing I like more than gambling. It is my favorite golf course in all of Central Texas. If you're looking to get out there, get out on the links this weekend. The golf club at Star Ranch is where you want to be, even though it's going to be 200 degrees. The golf course is always in great condition out there. I don't know how they do it, man, but the fairways are always super lush green. The greens rolling true. You can make putts on these greens. Scoring is available. If you're a great golfer, the golf club at Star Ranch, you're going to put up a nice number. All right. Birdie available, eagle available. And if you're not the greatest golfer ever, you're going to have a good time as well, because the golf course is super fun. Very unique design. Lots of really cool, fun holes, including that one right there. What is that, Bo? Is that 14, 15? I gotta learn the hole numbers. I love all the holes out there at the golf club at Star Ranch. Perfect place to host a tournament, charity or otherwise. If that's something you're looking to do, you can scan the QR code right there, or call them 252-GOLF to set your tee time at the golf club at Star Ranch.
There it is. That is Jason Dick, ladies and gentlemen. Jason, we appreciate you, sir. You go off and do what you need to do. We'll talk to you next week.
We them boys, all right? Beat Chicago.
Yeah,
we got it. We got it.
It's Micah Parsons week. Micah Parsons week for all you Cowboys fans.
That's good. Big one.
Lord. But to continue the discussion a little bit, gentlemen, have y'all seen OU trying to run the ball?
Not good.
Chance, can you tell me the average yards per carry against Auburn? I memorized it because it's not that big a number. Do you know what it was? The whole team.
2.3.
1.2.
Woohoo!
Mateers was 2.9. Like, for all, it's just, I'm not saying it's a guarantee. I'm not. I know that game too well. Texas OU's a wacky game. I get it. If I was a Texas fan, I would be licking every inch of my lips. I'd want a bib. I would want a fork and 2 knives and say, bring it on. I'd want to know the truth. I just saw Arch Manning do that. I just saw the offense wake up a little bit. My God, do I want to see that defense travel. Perfect timing for this schedule. Oh, you don't come back home till November. So what? Colin Simmons has a suitcase. Anthony Hill's got extra shirts he can pack. I can't wait to see this team go on the road and shut up home crowds if I'm a Texas fan. I would be waiting with bated breath. There are some fans that somehow think that this team has come unraveled in the previous 2 games. There were things that need to be worked on. But, man, I love the way they match up in a lot of these games. As this offense just keeps coming along. I mean, what do they need, Bo? 20? 24?
And let me say this, Chad.
28's going to win every game for sure.
For sure. But I want to give the Texas fans, and I want to give some credit to the ops staff, the game day ops, because you had a bunch of big name guys in this weekend, guys that came in for a Sam Houston State game. Like, how exciting could that be? And they made it a great experience. Saturday night in Austin, it wasn't like a Sam Houston State game. It was, the crowd was in it. They were excited. They wanted to see offense. They wanted to see defense. They finally got to see it. It didn't matter that it was Sam Houston State. They put on a good show. And so, hat tip, that look, they did what they were supposed to do. Yeah. That's the first time this year that they've done what they're supposed to do.
That's it. Speaking of a hat tip, we will. I have a question for Bo, but before that, let me do a literal hat tip here. Let's show you some last stand hats, and we'll start with that lifetime membership. You want that card? You want that cool black card? It is only $199, and it gets you 30% off everything forever. Free last stand locker room hat, the early access all drops. You see all that cool stuff, the swag bag and members lists and all that cool stuff that you get. If you are also a Longhorn fan and you now have time before that next game at DKR, we'll just let you take a look at the Longhorn stuff because there is a lot of it. So get set up. Maybe you want to get set up for baseball season. Maybe you want to go support that volleyball team in the rest of the year. Go check out all the different stuff that they have for you at Last Stand Hats, the True Fans brand. They do great work over there. And, of course, they also have The Outsiders hats. That's right. Bo's got his covert hat on, so I'll show you the Outsiders hat. 12 different designs, 12 different, not designs, 12 different color combinations. We're not that fancy. We don't have 12 designs, but we do have 12 ways, 12 colorways to say we are legitimately worth a shit. Bo, quick conversation, because I know it's sensitive to you because you are a non-Thunderstruck fan. Talk to me about this Django Walker song. I don't know why I wasn't familiar with it. I think they tried it during the drone show this last week. The thing was written in 2011. It feels kind of perfect to me, but I'm hearing some Longhorn fans think it's too corny. What's your thought on the Django song? Do you like this idea?
It's on my playlist. I like the song. I liked the song before that. I mean, I'm a Texas country music kind of guy. Like, I grew up in that, like promoted concerts. I've been around it. I've listened to the music.
Mm-hmm.
Django Walker's relative, it's Jerry Jeff's kid.
Right.
What's more Texas than Jerry Jeff Walker singing a song about, it's his son singing about the Texas Longhorns. It makes sense. What it is, the reason people say it's cheesy or whatever is because they want something different than that. And that's okay. It's not going to be a song that's for everybody, and I can understand why they pulled it. I love the song, and I hope they keep it, but there's definitely a contingent that wants a more upbeat, like some form of a rap song or a rock song or something that's, going instead of, a fun, quirky, more of a country music song wanting to be a Texas Longhorn. I mean,
you know why I like it, Bo? You know honestly why I like it? If you play like Kanye West Power, right? Like A&M does. And it's great when A&M comes out to it. That's a song everybody listened to. Mo Bamba. Every stadium in America plays it. This is something like, I don't know that I want to play a song going into the fourth quarter that the other team is on the sideline jiving to. This is something that is very, very Texas centric. It is for Texas. It's for the fans that are at that game. It's for Texas. It's not for the other team and anything else. That's why I like it. I like the song. I liked the old one better because it was written in 2011, Chad, but it was with some Big 12 and it had some more.
Now, here's what I would do with it. I've listened to both versions, and both are good. What I would do with it, if you're going to do it, is don't do the whole song. It doesn't work as an entire song. I would go to the spot right after the OU sucks thing, or if you want to include the OU sucks, go ahead. If you want to do
hold on, whoa.
Okay, so if you want to start there, you start with the hating on Georgia thing. You get the hating on Georgia. You get a little rip at the Aggies. You get who else? Oh, the UT, the fake UT thing, and Texas fans feel strongly about that. And then you finish with OU sucks. You all get to scream OU sucks, one of your favorite things. And then it goes into that, when I leave this earth kind of vibe or whatever. And it's so specific, Chance. What I would like about it, I'd tell you if I thought it was too corny. Writing a song about sports is hard. Writing a song like this, it's hard. I think it's cool enough. I think it strikes the right chord because then you can put all the highlights up. It references, Vince and Earl and you get the reference to the Red River game, and you've crossed back over the river more times a winner. There's something about it that's got a little like, we're Texas, we're badass, you're not. It's got that vibe to it. And so I listened through it and I was like, wait a second, when did this song come out? And I see 2011 and I'm like, well, they just must not like it. Like, it just must not connect for some reason. So I don't know. I just wanted to ask because it felt right to me. It felt like it could work. I want y'all to find something organic that works for you. I've suggested Houses of Rockin' by SRV for years. They don't apparently want to try it. I will say this, that turn the lights out Texas fight with the phones, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And that's where I would lead into Houses of Rockin'. CDC, that's my idea. You let them Texas fight 3 or 4 times, maybe 5 times, and then you fire up Stevie and go blasting lights everywhere, lights, smoke, drones, videos. I think it'd be badass because I don't know if you know it, but Stevie Ray Vaughan, kind of an Austin guy, also a Dallas guy in many ways, but kind of made his name in Austin. People kind of think of him. I think there might even be a What's that thing called?
What's that thing they make out of metal?
Oh, the statue. There's a statue. He's so important to the town. There's a statue downtown of that man. And he wrote a song that gives me the chills when I talk about it. If the house is a rockin', don't bother knocking, don't bother. I mean, come on. The pacing, the vibe, it would be perfect.
Whether it's Django Walker or Stevie Ray Vaughan, when Texas, this is my animus towards the Thunderstruck thing, it's not unique. It's not Texas specific. It's not Longhorn specific. It's
Thunderstruck sounds like you're not thinking. I agree with you, Bo. Thunderstruck sounds like you didn't want to even think of ideas.
No, it sounds like sometimes like Jason does for the Mach 5 Top 5, and he Googled top 5 end zone dances, and whatever it spit out, that's what he was going to play off of. Right. Yeah. What should we play at the fourth quarter? Thunderstruck. Okay, box check. Move on. No,
yeah. But here, and the other thing is, the reason this is so important too is the damn town. The damn town makes it important. What's it called? What's the name of the town? What's the nickname of the town?
The live music capital of the world.
Right.
And for me, jock rock crap.
Try it one time, CDC. He is an icon that is part of I could argue there's two guys that we could say helped it become the live music capital of the world. One of them's named Willie and one of them's named Stevie. And I don't know that Willie's got a song that would be perfect. Although if you want to try Whiskey River, I don't think Texas fans will get mad at you because he's Willie Nelson. But if you try the Stevie Ray Vaughan thing, I don't think you will ever go back.
No, here's what you do though, Chad. And maybe you may hate this idea, but this is how you encapsulate it. Because I do think you want to have the same song and the same tradition. But Stevie Ray Vaughan is a little older than the college generation would necessarily dive into.
Mm-hmm.
Get Gary Clark Jr. to play a Stevie Ray Vaughan song.
It's a good idea.
Hey,
Gary Clark Jr.'s got a song called Travis County that would be excellent. Excellent if they wanted to do it. Same speed.
Have Gary Clark Jr., who's an excellent singer and guitar. I mean, he is everything that he's the modern type of version at a different, he's a different kind of genius than Stevie Ray, but they're both Austin musical geniuses. Let him transition people into Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah.
Or rotate Stevie Ray, my Gary Clark Jr., Stevie Ray, and Django Walker. And then you kind of get
Hey, look, here's what we know. The
one thing I can assure you that.
Bo, Chance, and everybody watching, here's what we know about it.
That's what we're going for.
The one thing I always say about you Texas fans, it's never going to not be true. Y'all can't be fooled. You can't be convinced of something that you don't believe. You have to feel it. It's got to be right. When it may never happen. It may never happen. The worst you may deal with is, well, y'all are just Texas, and you got recruits talking about a drone show. Oh, well, like it's pretty unique, pretty cool. You're going to do what you do. If you never end up with a song, that's not a big deal. If it happens, it'll happen organically. It'll need to happen. And it'll
never happen with Thunderstruck.
It'll just fit. I agree with you. It is never going to happen with Thunderstruck.
Unless all the drones at once, to mimic Jason, defecated footballs on the field. That might wake people up, but other than that, no.
I don't know why they tried it, Bo. I've told Texas fans for years A&M plays that song in the second half. They still do it. My dad stands up at 79 years old and dances to Thunderstruck because he thinks it's badass. That happens at Kyle Field every game. And Texas somehow didn't realize that. And it's like, well, okay, let's play Thunderstruck.
Let me say this. You know who's one school that has taken the most cliche song ever and made it their absolute own, and it's badass? Virginia Tech, Enter Sandman.
Right. Yeah, it became a thing.
That entrance is freaking awesome.
That entrance is great.
Of all places to play House of Pain, jump around and actually it clicks, Wisconsin would not have been in the top 25 of anybody's thought.
And see those things, that's why it's got to be, it almost feels like it can't be a Django Walker styled song, not the style, but like a specifically written song almost. It's got to be like a song you already know. It connects with people. The Mr. Brightside thing at Michigan, it just kind of happened.
No, it's Mr. Brightside at the Buffalo Bills game, sir.
I was going to say Mr. Brightside also eventually ended up in Buffalo. It's got to feel natural, though. There's got to be a reason. There's got to be a connection for it that kind of makes sense.
When the Boston Red Sox play Sweet Caroline.
Yeah.
Like,
that one. Whew. I just recently found out the full history of that, of why that is. That's a great story. Oh, my God. It literally is about the daughter of one of the staff members that was named Caroline. Did y'all know that?
Yes.
She was a baby, and they said, can you play the song for Caroline? How's Caroline doing? Hey, let's play Sweet Caroline tonight. And the crowd lost their mind. And it just
– and they love it.
Oh,
I spent an inordinate amount of time around Chris Abbott still. His daughter is named Caroline Abbott. If you don't think I've heard the story about Sweet Caroline 100 times,
you know it. Yeah.
And to have a whole stadium of probably 30,000 people is all that field holds anymore. I mean, Fenway's not a big part, but to have everybody in there doing the bump,
yeah,
like
it is so good.
Awesome.
So, like right now, as we sit here, I feel like, Chance, you mentioned A&M's entrance. You guys like Texas's entrance right now? Have they figured that part out? Like, do you love the entrance, Bo?
I don't know.
Not really.
What I would use. I'm not mad at it. Like it's okay.
Okay.
Like,
because neither of those teams, for all you would say about the unique quality of each place, Texas is the only state that has 100,000 seats in 2 stadiums. I always like to mention that. Neither of them has one. Neither of them has like a fourth quarter badass. I mean, A&M's just added the lights this year. They're messing around.
Y'all are sawing the horns off, Chad.
They're messing around with the light. I mean, there's that, right? There's each have the right.
Like, that's a signature thing, though. When do you play
Texas Fight? When do you do right? But the Aggies are trying to figure out, like, do we add a song in, and what should it be? They haven't figured that out. And then you guys on the fourth quarter, like, it's just, it hasn't gelled. You haven't figured it out yet. But man, that with where everything is going with that drone show and the lights and all that, like, that's kind of the thing. And when I read little notes on Orange Bloods of a recruit saying, 55-0, they look great. That drone show was awesome. It's like, yeah, that's pretty cool. There just aren't that many places.
That drone show is pretty badass.
And then, I mean, it's very, very cool. And by the way, I'm not a fan of the tradition they've come up with the sword and the footballs, but the drone version I love.
Yeah, the drone version was cool. And
that was cool.
The coolest part to me was the way that it all came together at the very end with this big ass Longhorn head just sitting over the stadium.
Dude, that's so good, Chance. You're right.
Perfect.
You're right. The hook'em hand is cool, and the little car and all the little things they can do. But you're right. To have a drone like fire version of your logo floating above the stadium,
which is one of the most iconic logos in sports.
Yeah. While you have also cut that logo into the seats on one part of your stadium. That's pretty iconic. All right. We'll wrap it up here. Let's throw you the poncho one more time. We are the Outsiders, presented by Poncho Outdoors. 2 things here. Remember the flannels that we showed you earlier. There's your top 5. And yes, that is Mr. McCoy busting out a steak with the Nighthawk. The Hilton Head is number 2. And if you want the number 1 fall flannel, apparently that is the Blue Goose. But also, if you think Texas is going to end up number 1, you can get a refund. Look for this natty back logo. Go to ponchooutdoors.com/outsiders. First off, you get $10 off that first order. If you order the natty backed shirts, 3 choices with Texas, and they win the natty, you will get a refund as long as you order. Look at the date down there. Make sure you order those logo shirts before October 1st. There are 9 other teams that have natty backed logos shirts as well. So go check those out at ponchooutdoors.com. All right. Thank you all for liking and subscribing and getting your notifications. We'll finish out the off week. Y'all enjoy all the great football this week. We will be back next week. It will be SEC time. Florida week. We'll know what the next 4 years look like for Texas's schedule. It's going to be fun. Till next week, we are the Outsiders, and we are legitimately worth a shit. See ya.